I've got 3 clip-on design open earbuds from 3 well-known and popular brands to test and compare, so if you are wondering which one is the best in my opinion, then stick with me after the intro. Hi everyone, my name is Andy and you're watching Andy's Tech Tone. Thanks for tuning in. I've already tested the king of premium clip-on earbuds, the Bose Ultra Open, which costs $300, and I've also tested some of the best affordable alternatives, which all come in well under the $100 mark. But I believe the sweet spot is somewhere in between, so all of today's contenders sit somewhere in the range of $150 and $200. Out of these 3, the cheapest one is the Skullcandy Push 720 Open, which costs $150, then comes the soundcore AreoClip with its price tag of $170, and the SHOKZ OpenDots ONE is the most expensive of the bunch as of making this video, thanks to its price tag of $199.95. Of course, these prices and the availability of each earbud will vary depending on when and where you watch this comparison, so please check out the affiliate links in the description for more up-to-date information. During the review, I will rank the earbuds from 1st through 2nd to 3rd in each category, and each bud will get points according to their position. And at the end, the least amount of total points will win. It's easy. Now, let's dive into the details, starting with comparing the comfort and the fit of the earbuds. First, I have to say that all 3 buds are generally very comfy to wear for hours on end without any major issues. But there are some nuances that make the AreoClip buds the winners, with the SHOKZ being a close 2nd and Skullcandy 3rd. So the soundcore buds are not only lighter than the other 2, but these are the ones I found to be the most comfortable in the long run. The shaping and the size of the buds somehow suit my ears the best, and these are the only ones that come with 2 sets of optional silicone ear grips in the box, which can help you tailor their fit to your ears. The OpenDots One is really close in terms of long-term comfort, and due to the soft silicone coating on both the speakers and on the battery units behind your ears, you may actually prefer the SHOKZ buds over the soundcores, which use hard plastic all around. Onto the Skullcandy buds, these are significantly larger and heavier than either the SHOKZ or the soundcore. That chunky battery unit behind my ears, for example, makes lying on my side a bit uncomfortable. Not that this clip-on design was ever meant to be used like that, but the other 2 buds can handle most use cases better as far as disappearing from my ears. And I mean disappearing only metaphorically. But we could discuss it literally as well, since we talk about earbuds with sports being their primary use case. And as such, a secure and stable fit is crucial. And for that, I would say the Skullcandy buds are your best bet. These buds are the most robustly built, and their IP67 rating is also the highest in this group by far. We do not only get protection against dust ingress, but it also makes the earbuds fully watertight. I tested them in the shower the other day, no problems whatsoever. I'm not sure I would take the other 2 that far, thanks to their inferior level of protection against the elements. Of course, the IPX4 rating of the AreoClip is plenty enough to withstand some sweating and splashes, but I found the grip of the soundcores to be the most loose. It's secure for running and all sorts of everyday activities, but again, in this test it can only be lost in my opinion. And then there is the IP54 badge of the OpenDots One, which will also give you some dust protection on top of being resistant to sweat and rain. Also, the bridge that connects the 2 units is a touch more flexible on the SHOKZ than it is on the AreoClip, which can provide me with a slightly more solid grip. But again, from a fit and sports point of view, it's hard to beat the Push 720 Open, which means 1 point for Skullcandy, 2 for SHOKZ and 3 for soundcore. And if you want to make sure that you never leave your earbuds at home when going to the gym, for example, then that signature ring on the Skullcandy case will definitely help, as you can leave it attached to your gym bag at all times. But you will definitely need something larger than just a pocket, as that case is huge and it won't fit in your jeans or in your shorts. And while I'm convinced about the longevity of the Skullcandy buds thanks to their robust build quality, I cannot say the same about that push-open mechanism on their case, or that special fabric they use instead of the usual hard plastic for that matter. And since the earbuds sit so deep inside their case, I find taking them out or putting them back in a bit cumbersome, so day-to-day usability is not the best. The other two cases are more traditional in their design, which makes them more boring in comparison, but it also makes them a touch more easy to use. The soundcore case is a medium to small sized all-plastic block with rounded corners, a solid hinge and color-coded left and right sides, so you know which bud goes where. Nothing extraordinary, but it gets the job done. The SHOKZ case is more of a pebble-shaped, easy-to-slip in a tight pocket kind of deal with one special feature. You can put the earbuds in either side as they are identical in their design, there is no dedicated left and right bud, and they will automatically switch and set the audio channels correctly. And that can improve the comfort of everyday use in my opinion. And so can wireless charging, which is available on the SHOKZ and the Skullcandy cases. Overall, my ranking of the carry cases is as follows: Skullcandy 3rd, soundcore 2nd, and SHOKZ 1st. Next, let's have a quick look at the battery life of each of the buds. It's a numbers game, so here are the numbers. As you can see, SHOKZ is the winner here with up to 40 hours of total use time and 10 hours on a single charge. In second place, the AreoClip buds can last up to 8 hours on their own, and the case can recharge them fully 3 times, delivering up to 32 hours of total use time. Not far off is Skullcandy with 30 hours of overall playtime and 6 hours of use on a single charge. All three cases offer fast charging and a USB Type-C port, but only the SHOKZ and the Skullcandy cases can be charged wirelessly, as soundcore does not support that feature. As for their wireless features, all three supports dual device connection with automatic switching, along with the AAC and the SBC audio codecs. Both SHOKZ and soundcore offer a list of previously connected devices in their respective app, where you can manually switch between all the available sources, which is something you cannot do with the Push 720 Open. What you can do with the Skullcandy buds is enabling a low latency mode for gaming, which is a feature missing from the other two. That said, I have not experienced any lip-sync issues with any of the earbuds when watching videos. Skullcandy also supports Google Fast Pair, and as such you can use Google's location-based Find Device feature, even though the Skullcandy app itself does not have that option. Both the soundcore and the SHOKZ apps can give you Find My Earbuds, but neither of the two is GPS-based. You can only ping the buds in case you misplace them. All three support using a single bud at a time. However, the one feature that only SHOKZ can give you is the automatic switching between the left and right earbuds, but we already discussed that before. All three sets delivered a solid and reliable connection with no signal dropouts during my tests, and depending on your needs, any of the three can win this round, so I would rank them as equals in this case. Or maybe I would give a slight edge to SHOKZ thanks to its switchable left and right audio channel magic. Moving on to the controls, it's a clear win for the Push 720 Open thanks to its tactile, pressable buttons at the top of each battery unit. The functionality of the buttons is customizable in the app, and you have the single, double, triple and long press options at your disposal, which will give you access to not only the usual media playback and phone call controls, but also two extra functions. One is taking a photo using the camera of your phone, and two is Spotify Tap. The second best in terms of controls is SHOKZ, thanks to its multiple touch panel options. I mean, you can either use a single or triple tap on that bridge connecting the front and the back units, or you can pinch the battery compartment behind your ears to control media playback. This can be confusing at first, but the learning curve is not that steep, so you can get used to it in a day or two. Customization is somewhat limited in the app, and tapping that tiny bridge can be a hit and miss sometimes, but at the end of the day it all works okay. And as the only one in this group, the OpenDots ONE comes with smart sensors, so removing one or both buds from your ears will pause media playback automatically as long as this feature is enabled in the app. The soundcore buds also use touch panels built into those bridges, and these panels are a tad more reliable to use than those on the SHOKZ, but there are other areas where the SHOKZ buds can outperform the AreoClip easily. First is the fact that all we get from soundcore is a double and triple tap option, which gives you limited control functions compared to the full suite of controls on the OpenDots ONE. Second is the missing smart sensors, which means no automatic play and pause. And third is the lack of those pinching options which you get from SHOKZ. So overall, it's an easy win for Skullcandy, a non-negotiable loss for soundcore, with SHOKZ being somewhere in between. And now let's see what features each of the smartphone apps have to offer. And in that regard, the last here is the Skullcandy app. Quick note, the Push 720 Open uses the app called Skullcandy and not the one called Skull IQ, so keep that in mind. Anyway, it offers EQ options with some presets and a basic 5-band manual setting, a low latency switch, a multi-point switch, the custom controls, and practically that's it. Next up is Soundcore with some of its features we already touched upon, such as the custom controls, the dual device connection list, or find device. On top of all that, there is the sound effects menu with multiple audio presets and an 8-band manual EQ, settings for the prompt tones, and an auto power-off timer. Oddly enough, there is a sound mode menu with the option to enable LDAC, but according to the app it requires a firmware update, but then again, the app says that the earbuds are up to date. Not sure what's going on there, since there is no mention of the LDAC codec anywhere else in the specs, on the official website, on the box or in the manual, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And the best app out of these three is definitely the one we get from SHOKZ. It does everything the Soundcore app can do, but it also gives us a smart sensor switch, the option to turn off the automatic swapping between the left and right channels, we can turn on noise cancellation for the mics during a phone call, and we also get Dolby Audio. So the SHOKZ app is first, Soundcore second, and Skullcandy finishes last. And since the topic of microphones just came up, let me give you a few audio samples next, so you can compare the phone call quality of the three earbuds. This is an audio sample from the built-in microphones on the SHOKZ OpenDots ONE clip-on design earbuds in a quiet environment. This is an audio sample from the built-in microphones on the Skullcandy Push 720 Open clip-on design earbuds in a quiet environment. This is an audio sample from the built-in microphones on the Soundcore AreoClip clip-on design earbuds in a quiet environment. And this is another audio sample from the built-in mics on the SHOKZ earbuds. This time I'm outside with some traffic in the background and also with a slight breeze thrown into the mix. Next up is the Skullcandy Push 720 Open, and again I'm outside with some light traffic and a very gentle breeze added to the equation. And our last audio sample for the day is coming from the built-in mics on the Soundcore AreoClip buds. I'm still outside with some light traffic in the background and a very gentle breeze. And now let's see how these three stack up to one another in terms of sound quality. I tested the earbuds with their default EQ setting, which is called Soundcore Signature for the AreoClip, it's Music in the Skullcandy app, and Standard in the case of the OpenDots ONE. And if I had to describe each with a single word, I would say that the Skullcandy is bright, the Soundcore is warm, while the SHOKZ is balanced. Out of the three, the Push 720 Open is my least favorite due to the lack of bass and the slightly over-the-top highs. The sound of those 12mm drivers is a bit thin due to their very limited extension in the lower octaves. For podcasts and YouTube, the boosted upper mid-range and the dip in the lower mids and below can help with speech intelligibility, but for music, I miss a bit of warmth from the vocals and I get too much sibilance up top. If you want to hear high-frequency details and prefer a clean and transparent sound, you will probably like it, but no matter which EQ setting I was using, I couldn't really make the Skullcandy buds sing the way I would like them to. Onto the AreoClip and its 12mm by 12mm titanium-coated drivers, we get a hefty enough punch in the bottom octaves and a warm yet energetic sound overall. There is some metallic ringing noise with certain low to mid-bass notes, but it's not always detectable and it does not muddy up the sound. I talk about the issue in more detail in my standalone review of the Soundcore buds. But that issue aside, the sound is powerful with a good amount of energy coming from the bottom end. The top end, however, is rolled off, making everything sound smoother than it is on the Skullcandy, but at the same time the mids are ever so slightly pushed back in the mix. It has a slightly negative impact on speech intelligibility, as voices, especially male voices, are a bit chesty or dark sounding. However, a little tweaking with the EQ in the app can open up the vocals a little if that's what you need. And finally, there is the OpenDots ONE with its dual opposing speaker setup, which means that there are two circular drivers used in each module which face each other. And this so-called bass sphere technology delivers an intense but clean and distortion-free bottom end, along with fairly neutral mids and extended but not overly hot highs. The lowest octaves have a great impact, and while the bass might be a hair less intense than that of the AreoClip, here is no sign of any ringing noise or distortion whatsoever. Above like 70 or 80% of volume, the bass gets tapered off to avoid said distortion, but this is common practice with open-ear designs where delivering clean bass notes can be challenging at higher outputs. Both the AreoClip and the Push 720 Open do the same, as both taper the bass above a certain output. maybe the roll-off on the soundcore is the least drastic, but those buds suffer from that ringing noise regardless of volume, and the Skullcandy buds have not much of a bass to begin with, so all in all, the best bass comes from the SHOKZ. And the same can be said about the mids. Vocals sound neutral and they are also forward enough without becoming shouty or overly dominant. Overall presence across the mid-range is great, with rich sounding and detailed instruments. As for the treble, between the tamed highs of the AreoClip and the bright top end of the Skullcandy, it's SHOKZ again who found the sweet spot. We got the nuances, the details, and also that hint of sparkle in the treble without things ever getting out of hand, even at or close to maximum volume. And along with the well-balanced sound comes a nicely structured yet a bit diffuse image and soundstage. The AreoClip is a touch more precise in terms of placing each instrument on the stage, while the Skullcandy is a bit more compressed as far as the overall dimensions of that same soundscape. And speaking of a soundscape, SHOKZ has one more trick up its sleeve, and that's Dolby Audio. Turning it on can add some sense of spaciousness to the sound, and in certain cases it works okay, but myself being more of a purist, I would rather leave it turned off. But in any case, the option is there for you to try. In terms of maximum volume or the perception of it, I found the Skullcandy buds to be the loudest, with the other two being more or less equal to one another, and the same applies to sound leakage. All that said, I would give the SHOKZ an easy win as far as sound quality, with soundcore being second and Skullcandy third. But what about the overall scores? Well, after adding all the points together, the SHOKZ OpenDots ONE seems to have taken the win with some margin. It has the best sound, the best battery life, the best carry case, the best app, and it offers the most in terms of wireless features. The soundcore AreoClip, on the other hand, is the most comfortable, while the Skullcandy Push 720 Open can only top the other two in terms of its controls and its fit. With all that, I think that the Skullcandy buds might be your best bet for outdoor use and sports, thanks to their robust build quality, their secure fit, the best IP rating, and also the highest maximum volume, which might come in handy in noisy places, such as the side of the road while running. The soundcore buds can still be the winners if all you need is absolute comfort in the long run, and let's face it, the one and only advantage the clip-on design has over in-ears or other open-ears with an ear hook is their comfort. But the SHOKZ OpenDots ONE is no slouch either as far as comfort, and it proves to be the best all-rounder with a comprehensive set of features and a great sound quality. Sure, their price is the highest of the three, but not by much, and you get your money's worth from SHOKZ. And it also means a much better value than that of the Bose Ultra Open, which many consider to be the king of clip-on buds. I tested them back then when they came out, and while I like them a lot, I could not justify spending $300, so I had to return them. And since then, Bose stopped selling their products in Ireland through their official website. That's why I cannot give you a hands-on comparison between the SHOKZ and the Bose, but that's another story for another day. And for full transparency, I got all three earbuds from their respective manufacturer for this test, but I'm not getting paid, nor did I give preview privileges to anyone, so my findings are my own, and my opinions are solely based on my own hands-on experience with the earbuds. And that's a wrap. If you liked the video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Feel free to leave a comment should you have anything to ask or share. Thanks for watching everyone, hope to see you all in the next one.